Roll call.
Councilman Moore.
Here.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilwoman Lydecker.
Here.
Councilman Fosman.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Here.
Vice President DeYoung.
Here.
President Momolo.
Here.
Thank you.
Everyone, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approve the minutes of the May 5th, 2015 meeting. Can I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Wow. Motion by Councilwoman Pontorero, second by Councilman Fosman.
It was not by me.
It wasn't, you wasn't motion?
For a
by-
change, no, it was not.
Okay, then we'll give to Councilwoman Zapsik. Thought I heard too many voices.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lydecker.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Abstain.
Vice President DeYoung.
Yes.
President Momolo.
Yes. Our first presentation is Christopher Castellano, Ocean County Vocational Technical School Culinary State Championship. Would you like to meet us up front, Mayor and Councilwoman?
Yes.
All right, Brick Township, as we all know, it's home of very exceptional people, whether it be sports, academics. We have just very talented young people, and they are passionate, and they compete in a wide variety of activities. One such person is Christopher Castellano. On May 2nd, 2015, Christopher, who was a post-secondary student of the Ocean County Vocational Schools Culinary Program, he competed at the annual New Jersey Skills USA competition. And Christopher competed in the commercial baking competition and was required to prepare a variety of baked goods. Christopher won the gold medal in the commercial baking competition, giving him 2 state championships at the New Jersey Skills USA competition, including the one he won back in 2013, the last time I saw him. By virtue of winning the gold medal for New Jersey, Christopher has earned the right to compete in the national competition, which is happening later on this month in Louisville, Kentucky. And because of all these reasons, I, John G. Ducey, the mayor of the Township of Brick, do hereby proclaim Thursday, June 11, 2015, to be Christopher Castellano Day here in the Township of Brick.
Wait, don't go anywhere, Mr. Castellano. As we also know, Brick has a variety and a wealth of beautiful foods that we have in this township. New restaurants opening up every day, and we always need great chefs to fill those spots. Christopher has a talent that's near and dear to my heart, as I bake 13 kinds of Italian cookies every year for Christmas and send them throughout the state of New Jersey. So I'm very impressed by the commercial baking. Fabulous. So on behalf of the council, right in back of us, we'd like to present you with a resolution. Whereas Christopher Castellano is a post-secondary student in the culinary program at the Ocean County Vocational Technical Schools Brick Center, and whereas at the 2015 Skills USA competition on May 2nd, Chris became state champion by winning the gold medal in the commercial baking competition. Fabulous. Whereas Chris will be representing the state of New Jersey in the national competition in Louisville, Kentucky. Whereas Chris won a previous state championship in 2013, having won the gold medal for action skills at the Skills USA competition while he was a student at Brick Memorial High School. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey as follows. We join Mayor John G. Ducey in extending our highest commendations and congratulations to Chris on all his accomplishments, and hopefully he brings home the gold for the national competition. That would be fabulous.
Nice.
True grill master right there.
Mayor, we're going to call up Christy Wojciechowski. I hope I pronounced that right.
Again, the Township of Brick has great young individuals that do a wide variety of activities. One such student athlete stands here before us today. She's added her own chapter to our great community's storied athletic tradition, and she is Brick Township High School senior Chrissy Wojciechowski. Chrissy, she won this year's Ocean County Girls Championship, which is the first in the history of Brick Township. It's the latest in a career of first. She did serve as the captain of the boys varsity team. She's the first Brick Township golfer to finish in the Ocean County tournament top 10. That's male and female. She was also a selection to first team all shore and all county, and much, much more. Chrissy will leave Brick Township High School as the most successful interscholastic golfer in Brick Township history. And she will continue her great golf career up at Sacred Heart University up in Connecticut. For all these reasons, I, John G. Ducey, Mayor of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, June 10th, 2015, to be Chrissy Wojciechowski Day here in Brick.
And Chrissy, on behalf of the council, I have a resolution for you that pretty much reiterates the same thing that the mayor just said. But when I always like to try and find out a little something about the person that I'm presenting for. And I think I told you earlier this evening, I watched your recruitment video. But I noticed that, am I correct in this, as a freshman, you placed 6th in this tournament, correct? So you've had this in your sights from the time you entered high school, which is really very, very impressive. Title IX has done a lot to level the playing field for female athletics, but it's always a pleasure to honor and recognize a female who has excelled, especially in a sport that's predominated by men. So on behalf of the council, I'm happy to present you this resolution.
Next up, we have the Tittaconk River Watershed Campaign and winners.
I'd like to say something before I call up the contest winners. I'd like to introduce the mayor, Rob Carl, Joe Maggio, and Sherry Contra, sorry. They were responsible for, we had a watershed committee, and we decided to come up with a contest for the schools to give a little insight to everybody. And the Brick Utilities recently completed a Tittaconk River Watershed Protection and Restoration Plan, which is aimed at improving water quality, protecting Brick Township's water supply, and improving the health of the Barnegat Bay. The key element of the Tittaconk Watershed Plan is educating the public about the river and its watershed. We're looking to build awareness about the river's importance and the region and things people can do every day in their lives to protect it. We had a mascot and slogan that have been developed by the township students through these competitions that will help convey this important message. I'd like to call up Molly O'Brien, her parents, her teacher, Mrs. Kuby. The mascot competition went to elementary schools, grades 1 through 5, and the winner of the mascot competition is Molly O'Brien from Drum Point Elementary School, 3rd grade, with a drawing of Henry Herron, as you can see over here. Her design was presented to the public on June 7th at the Barnegat Bay Festival in Island Heights. It also is featured at the festivals. The Bricktown Utilities will be participating in as well, as displayed in our Tittaconk River Watershed website. Molly is receiving a plaque and a $50 gift card, and Mrs. Kuby will be accepting a plaque on behalf of the school. From the watershed. Congratulations, and thank you very much for participating, and thanks to schools for allowing us to come in there and doing this project here in the contest. Thank you very much. Okay, I'd like to call up Carrie Lynn Schaefer and her family, and Gary Paxton. And the principal, Alice Anderson, is unable to attend tonight. The slogan competition went to the middle school's grades 6 through 8, and the winner is Carrie Lynn Schaefer from Lake Riviera Middle School. Her winning slogan is, "Make a resolution to stomp out water pollution." Her slogan was presented to the public on June 7th at the Barnegat Bay Festival in Island Heights, and it will be featured at the festivals that Brick Utilities will be participating in, as well as displayed on our Matineconk River watershed website. Carrie's receiving a plaque and a $50 gift certificate, and Mr. Gary Paxton is accepting a plaque on behalf of the schools. Congratulations and thank you. And thank you for all the teachers, students who participated in the contest. Thank you.
We always lose about 60% of the people.
I would say about it.
It's the saddest thing when the kids go. That's the
Is
saddest.
somebody having a sale somewhere? Everybody's running out.
Yeah, right.
Where is my, oh. Move on to the consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Resolution 401 is recognized Christopher Castellano, Ocean County Vocational Technical School Culinary State Champion. Great job. Resolution 42 recognize Chrissy Wojciechowski, Ocean County Tournament Golf Champion. Great job. Resolution 4-3, authorize emergency temporary appropriations. Resolution allows us to increase line item department budgets as needed until we have adopted the budget. Resolution 4-4, authorize cancellation of grant appropriated reserves and receivables. This resolution cancels receivables and reserve balances for two grants that were reimbursable to actual expenditures. Resolution 4-5, authorize application 2014 recycling tonnage grant. Councilman Fosman?
Yes, thank you, Council President. It is the intent and the spirit of the Mandatory Source Separation and Recycling Act to use the tonnage grants that we're applying for to develop new municipal recycling programs and to continue and expand the existing program. That the monies received from the recycling tonnage grant will be deposited in a dedicated recycling trust fund and be used solely for the purposes of recycling. So this grant would be real good to get in. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Resolution 4-6, authorize New Jersey Department of Transportation application for discretionary aid Route 70 eastbound reconstruction. This application is the process the township must follow to be reimbursed for the change orders that arose during the construction on Route 70. Several issues occurred during construction which required change orders at the township expense, specifically a pipe replacement and reconstruction of pavement. We've talked about this over the past several meetings. We requested reimbursement from the NJDOT. It did not receive a favorable response until Mayor went to Trenton and spoke with Commissioner Jamie Foxx, who committed to fully funding the change orders related to this issue identified during construction. We are requesting reimbursement now that the project is fully complete. Resolution 4-7, authorize receipt of bids, purchase, and delivery of a new mobile restroom trailer. The resolution authorizes a bid for purchase of a self-contained mobile restroom trailer for use at public parks and events held by the township. It is being purchased from the approved 2015 capital budget. Resolution 4-8, authorize receipt of bids, operation of Ocean Beach 1 food concession stand. This resolution authorizes the township to go out to bids for operation of Ocean Beach 1 food concession stand. The current 6-year contract will expire September 15th of this year. There will be a 3-year contract beginning with the 2016 summer season. The previous award was for $23,400 per year, totaling $140,400 for the 6-year contract. The current vendor is Jersey Shore Snack Shack in Point Pleasant. Resolution 4-9, receipt of bids, a tree removal service. This resolution authorizes the township to go out to bid for a tree removal service. The bid is for all necessary tree trimming, removal, and disposal that cannot be done in-house. The work includes the removal of dead, dying, diseased, interfering, objectionable, or weak branches, and/or complete removal of the entire tree if needed. The township spent $30,065 during the current 2-year contract, which expires in December. Falkenberg Tree Experts, Brielle, is the current vendor. Resolution 4-10, authorize receipt of bids, liquid de-icing agent. This resolution authorizes the township to go out for bid for liquid brine de-icing solution. The township spent $11,053.14 during the current 2-year contract, which expires in September. Reed Systems, Ellenville, New York, is our current vendor. Resolution 4-11, authorize receipt of bids, on-site environmental safe truck wash service. This resolution authorized the township to go out to bid for on-site environmental safe wash for the township-owned vehicles and equipment by recapturing wastewater runoff during the cleaning process and preventing it from contaminating soil and groundwater. The Department of Public Works does not have a closed system for the capture of wastewater when washing trucks and equipment, so we must contract out this service. The Township New Jersey Discharge Elimination System, elimination storm water permit mandates that capture of the wastewater runoff to prevent the contamination of soil and groundwater. The township spent $22,231 in the current 2-year contract, which expires in September, with Superior Wash, New Jersey, South in Freehold. Resolution 4-12, authorize receipt of bid, ATM vending machine, a municipal complex. The resolution authorized the township to go out for bid for an ATM machine at the town hall. This has been something requested by the public and employees. Resolution 4-13, authorize receipt of bid, mobile food vendor at Windward Beach. This resolution authorizes the township to go out for bid for a mobile food vendor at Windward Beach. We used to go out for bids for this service, but stopped when we no longer received any bids. With the increase of the new township events at Windward Beach, we will advertise for bids to provide park and beachgoers with things like breakfast sandwiches, coffee, ice cream, candy, all good stuff, soft drinks.
I have a question real quick.
Yes, you do.
This won't interfere with any of our Summerfest or Bricktoberfest food trucks, would they? No?
Dates, the times will end before the Summerfest starts.
That's it.
It will be during the farmer's market, though.
Correct.
You'll- Right.
We've only exempted specific events such as Summerfest and Bricktoberfest because we have other mobile
But
food
it'll be
trucks.
added for the farmer's market.
Yep.
People could get coffee, as Councilwoman Zapsik brought up last week. Good. All right, now I'm lost. Okay, 414, authorize award of bid, rental equipment and operators. Resolution authorizes the township to award a contract to the following bidders: Laporta Service Center, Brick; Belgium Construction, Jackson; Glenside Equipment, Farmingdale; JR Custom Landscaping, Jackson; and Yanuzzi Group, Kinnelon, for various equipment and operators. Contract allows for the award of a secondary contracts to all bidders who agree to the original terms and conditions of the bid and to perform at the rates awarded to each low bidder in each category. However, there is a tie for the bid for primary contractor for Tarmel, and I will ask our attorney to come forward. And I'd like to have our official coin tosser, Nan, please come forward.
Yes, Council President, we have a policy when we have a tie on bid submissions, we have a coin flip, which is permitted by law. And the coin flip on this one will be for item number 13 on this bid, which is a trommel with operator. Two bidders bid the same price, $300 per hour for the trommel with the operator. And that's Yanuzzi Group and Belgium Construction. So what we'll do is I'll have Ms. Cole take.
Well, who will be heads?
I'll
Okay.
just the standard quarter heads and tails. We'll make heads will be the Yanuzzi Group and tails will be Belgium Construction. Fire away. And it is tails. So Belgium Construction will get that bid.
Thank you, Ms. Cole. Great job on tossing that coin. Resolution 415, authorize award of bid purchase and delivery of 3 single-axle dump trucks. Councilman Fosman, would you like to
yes,
elaborate, please?
Yes, this will award the bid to the purchase of 3 2016 or newer single-axle dump trucks with stainless steel hydraulically driven 6-yard multi-purpose body dump, pre-wetting system, and snow plow. And it will be hereby awarded to Muncie Schwartz & Sons, 584 Shrewsbury Avenue, Shrewsbury. The price of each truck is $157,828 for a total of $473,484. This is coming out of our 2014 capital budget on ordinance 19-14.
Thank you. Resolution 416, authorize award to negotiate bid beer and wine concession. Resolution authorized the township to award a contract to Three Boys Corporation, also known as Windward Tavern, for the beer and wine concession at Summerfest, Bricktoberfest, Car Show, for the amount of $5,600. Resolution.
I have another question.
Okay, you may ask that.
What was the process that was gone through to come to this conclusion?
Our business.
Well, the Township Council authorized going out to bid, and we did not receive any bids. We did that twice, and that gave us the opportunity to directly negotiate. I reached out to 3 vendors that would satisfy the criteria for this, met with them, asked each of them to submit a proposal by a certain date. 2 of the 3 did. Both of those were reviewed, and this was the company with the highest bid and also with the best capacity, in my opinion, to meet the criteria for the beer and wine concession.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Resolution 417, authorize award of proposal sale of mulch. Councilman Fosman.
That is the proposal for sale of mulch stockpiled at the Brick Public Works Department. Is hereby awarded to Advanced Soil Technologies, 990 Cedar Bridge Avenue, in the amount of, it's $1.86 per cubic yard for unscreened and $6.04 per yard for screened. And I believe our sales last year were $18,000 on that. So I think it's a good thing that we can make a little bit of money on that.
Great, thank you. And the mulch is free to any Bricktown resident, so if you need mulch, go down there and pick it up. We have plenty. Resolution 418, authorized donation of monies to Habitat for Humanity of Brick Township Sandy victims. Mayor, would you like to speak on that, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. Right after Sandy, the town set up a basically a donation. Funds were donated, it was supposed to go to Sandy victims. And then once we established the funds, pretty early in 2013, the state put all these restrictions on where the money could go, and the approval process and all this, and it's dragged out this long. We actually the only other plan that I heard of along the way, I was still on council at the time, was there was a big home improvement store in town that was interested in maybe matching whatever we raised. But again, none of that ever came to fruition and probably wouldn't have been approved through the state process. So eventually, we're finally able to, we actually collected as a township $31,203.32. That's the generosity of all of our residents and outside of Brick Township who made any donations to our Brick Sandy Fund. And we took a look at some different programs, and Habitat for Humanity had a program called Bringing Families Home program. So it's exactly what we want to do. We want to get people back in their houses. There still are hundreds, if not thousands, of people who are not in their houses yet. I know a lot of people don't realize that because they live on the high ground, on the north side of Brick or the west side of Brick as opposed to anywhere on the water. But there are so many people that are still out of their houses that we thought that this program, Habitat for Humanity, and all of the money that we're donating are going directly to Brick residents only as part of this Bringing Families Home program. And it's a great program, and we're happy to donate the $31,203.32 that we were able to collect from our residents with their generosity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 419, authorize execution of a tower lease agreement with Brick Township Board of Education. Resolution authorizes the township to enter into a tower lease agreement with the Board of Education for space on the cell tower here at Town Hall. The board needs the space for its communication equipment, which will be providing them in space at the tower at no cost. It's an internal radio system for the safety of the children. So after several meetings, I know our business administrator met with the Board of Education several times, and really we, as the council, the mayor, and the businessmen, we want to get this going so that we're not losing any time or any of the safety on the children. Thank you. Thank you for all your work on that, too. 420, authorize exempt fireman certificates, Brenton Woods Fire Company. Township has been advised by Brenton Woods Fire Company number 1 that 32 members have served the required number of years as active firemen pursuant to NJSA 40A 14-56, according to Brick Township Code. A member of the fire company in good standing is entitled to receive an exempt fireman certificate when he has served a total of 7 years service, performing 60% of fire duty during that period. The request for exemption is filed with our township clerk, who receives the information based on the records provided by the fire company. Exempt firemen receive a property tax exemption from the state in the amount of $500. Resolution 421, authorize exempt fireman certificate, Pioneer Hose Fire Company. Township has been advised by the Pioneer Hose Fire Company number 5 that 5 members have served at the required number of years as active firemen pursuant to NJSA 40A 14-56. 422, prohibits smoking at Summerfest, Kids Night Out, and Bricktoberfest event. Also included on that are the movies at the park, which will be in August. The resolution prohibits smoking at the following township events. Resolution 423, authorize special events permit, Green Cove Marina Family Fun Day. The resolution approves a special event permit for Green Cove Marina for a family fun day, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday, June 27th, at the site located at 41 Division Street. Resolution 424, authorized placement of tax lien on property cleanup. The resolution authorizes the placement of a tax lien in the amount of $224.17 for the cost associated with removing debris and cleanup of Block 72, Lot 11, which is 24 Spring Avenue. Resolution 425, bond reduction releases. Madam Clerk.
Yes, thank you. The first one, or the only one I have on tonight, is for Lube It Up, and they're requesting the release of $96,001.19 in a letter of credit and $10,666.80 in a cash performance bond for the Quaker Steak and Lube project. And that
Thank
was
you.
recommended by the township engineer.
What was it? What's the?
It's for Quaker Steak and Lube.
Thank
You're welcome.
you. Resolution 426, tax collector. I'd like to ask our business administrator.
26A, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for block 378, lot 39, lot 23, 137 Maryland Drive, in the amount of $8,285.06. 26B, tax overpayment due to homestead benefits, 2015, block 1192.07, lot 5, 160 Clay Circle, in the amount of $266.79. And block 446, lot 6.01, 552 Amherst Drive, in the amount of $439.09. 26C, state tax appeal granted for block 672, lot 8, 51 Chambers Bridge Road, in the amount of $36,852, which is a 2-year appeal. 26D, state tax appeal granted, block 1385.07, lot 10, 640 Wyman River Road, in the amount of $13,292.84, which is a 2-year appeal. 26E, state tax appeal granted, block 878.01, lot 12, 6 Island Court, in the amount of $1,006.42, which is a 2-year appeal.
Thank you. Any questions from council? Seeing none, call for a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Ponderevo, second by Vice President DeYoung. Open to public for questions on the resolutions. Ma'am?
Nan Carl, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. Two very minor questions. Perhaps it was the stress of doing the coin flip. Did you give the name of whom you awarded the bid to for 414, the rental of equipment and operators? And what equipment were we renting?
And there's an extensive list. There's, I believe, 38 pieces of equipment. Some come with operators.
What type of equipment
Yeah,
at least?
I can give you my list. It's mostly for use on public works type projects. But it might be easier if you just take a look at the
Absolutely.
list.
After the meeting, I'd be,
Yeah.
Chippers, tandems, dump trucks.
Backhoes, loaders,
Stump grinders, bobcats, those types of pieces.
even the
Okay.
jet vac, stump grinders.
and also, did you give a name to who was the beer and wine concession?
Yes, we did.
Yes, it was Windward Tavern, also known
Windward
as Three
Tavern?
Boys. Yes, Windward Tavern.
Windward Tavern, is that over?
Actually, it's almost
Okay,
across
it's
from.
right near
It's
Windward.
right near.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Anyone else on resolutions? Sir? Good evening, Mr. Scott. How are you? Thank you. Very good. Thanks.
You guys want us to step outside for a little while?
I don't wear yellow anymore to upset them.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Might have been the color. A question on R3. But let me just ask, is our fiscal year a January to December year? Okay. With that said, I know to establish the budget and for you guys to, vote on it and adopt it, have we gotten the amount for the grant that we're waiting to do that?
We don't have it finalized on the grant. I don't know if you want to weigh on that. We just discussed that.
Mr. Scott, we expect to hear some point in
Soon.
June, probably towards the end of June,
Okay.
the dispensation on that grant. We've been in touch with the DCA. They told us they're working diligently, but we don't know yet, and we won't know till the end of June.
Okay, that's fine. On R4, I didn't get a chance to talk to the chief. I mean, it's unusual that he left $2,000 on the table in grant money. Did you get any kind of explanation?
I didn't get any, I don't know if Joanne did.
Yeah,
I
these
didn't-
two grants are staffing type of grants. So what he does is we spend exactly what we can to cover a shift for whatever it is that they are doing from a public safety perspective. So if it isn't enough to cover a shift, We don't do it because
We don't
then
use-
we'd be putting money into it. So we draw it down to the lowest possible with fully staffed
Okay.
shifts.
On R5, paragraph 2, do you know what was done regarding this grant? And on paragraph 8, as Councilman Fosman said, how much do we have in this dedicated fund? And how was that money spent in the last 2 years? Looking at the resolution, you're supposed to use it just for recycling.
You're on 4.5, right, on the tonnage, the recycling
Yeah,
tonnage?
on the recycling grant.
It's
We used it for equipment that we use for recycling, and we have also used it for staffing.
Okay. But if you use it for staffing, that fulfills the requirements of that grant? Okay, that's fine.
For example, any efforts we put into promoting recycling, like the things that Trish Totaro are doing,
Right.
brochures, educational.
That part I know.
All those things are covered, as is her time.
Okay. 4.7, and this restroom trailer thing, I looked in the bills, and one of the engineers is doing something to Traders Cove. I did check with purchasing on this. They told me that this was going to be used for Traders Cove.
Correct.
And my question to her, don't we have bathroom facilities or something that's in the planning stage that we're
Right.
going to have?
We,
And I'm looking where this is like a $3,000 to $4,000 a month rental, so I'm just putting two and two together,
we're,
figuring this is going to
we're
be.
going out to bid for it to see what kind of prices we get in for that, because we're required to have those facilities at Traders Cove.
You are correct, Mr. Scott, in that we have plans to build a resource center there that will have the transient restroom facilities as required, as Council President Mumlo said, from the New Jersey Big Boating Infrastructure Grant.
Right.
However, we have had some delays in constructing that building, mainly due to satisfying CAFRA requirements. So with the delays come boaters that are looking for these transient facilities, and we also have to be compliant with the grant within a certain time frame. So we have thought about buying these trailers for some time. They're certainly nicer than your typical porta-john, which is what we have out there now. The trailers will hook up to our sewer system, so they're not like porta-johns, and they are mobile. So after Traders Cove is done, the resource building is in place, and the facilities are available, we will use this at other locations and save significantly on what we spend on porta-johns.
Okay.
I believe the reason building's not, it's CAFRA, because of after Sandy, the maps haven't been finalized yet, too, so the height of that building's been
You're right.
there's been a big
It's
discrepancy.
caused design changes. The
Quite a
change
bit,
in
yeah.
requirements have caused design changes which have put us behind schedule.
That's fine. Finish with the questions, comments on two of the resolutions, namely 4.6 and 4.19. I did go to speak with Alyssa. This is where we're getting the discretionary funds reimbursed for the extra money on Route 70.
Right.
Kudos to her, she did a great job on that. Also, the administration going to secure that money for the extra $122,000. They did not reimburse us for the $138,000 that we laid out. Here's what annoys me. It is a state highway. They should have reimbursed us for everything. So we're gonna take it on the chin for $138,000. But my recommendation to who's ever up there or up there in the future, that we get the guarantee from the state before we lay out our money again, because it's a state highway. They should pay for the whole thing. We shouldn't have to pay the $138,000, of which Alyssa agreed. My other comment is on 419. You mentioned.
Joanne, do you want to speak on that? You want to answer him on that?
Yeah, that original change order was an internal error on our part. We did not bid the job as a nighttime job. And the bids came in, we awarded the
You
contract.
talking about the 138 or the 122?
The 138, the very first change order,
Oh,
which goes
okay.
back almost a
Right.
year ago before we started the job.
Okay.
That was our error. That was my error. I should have made sure everything was in a.
Let me interrupt you there. I know you for a while. You're not an engineer. I'm sure some engineering company said, let's bid this job. They developed the specs. They should have picked that up, not you personally. So
We failed
let's
to
lay the
direct
blame
them
where
to
the
do
blame
that.
is.
No, we failed to direct them to do that, Mr. Scott. It was our error.
Okay, I give you credit for taking blame for that. On the other hand, going back to the tower situation where you stated that the business administrator put a lot of time in meeting with the Board of Education. In addition to that, I got to say, she was there in case anybody had any questions at the Board of Education meeting the other night, of which I was there. I left at a reasonable hour, which was after 10:30 p.m. She was still sitting there well into midnight. So not only does she put the time in, I got to give her a lot of credit, and so should the people that don't see what's going on, because she was there for the benefit of the township, and that was a real long, extended meeting.
Yeah, we're not planning on going that long tonight.
Or any night. I think.
Thank you. Anyone else on resolutions? Seeing none, close public. Oh, wait, somebody, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't see you.
Okay. Arlene Garris, 35 Cabana Drive.
Okay.
I just have a question, been away from the politics for a while. 4-5.
This isn't politics,
on
it's a
the
council
recyc-
meeting.
What?
It's not politics,
Oh, I
it's a
meant
council meeting.
sorry. On the resolution for the recycling grant.
Right.
We use any of that money towards adding additional pickup? We only get
Oh,
pickup.
sorry, you mean the schedule?
Yeah, we only get it
I'm not-
once.
I don't believe that's possible
That's
on
not
that.
part of the grant
No.
money?
I don't
The
think
grant
there's
money
enough.
would, we're nowhere near cover our actual
Yeah.
cost to add another day. That's a rather extensive and costly initiative that we are not prepared to undertake at this time.
Okay, look into that. And on number, the thing between number 18, the money for Habitat for Humanity?
Yes.
Okay, where could people, do you notify people, or how do we get publicized with that?
We have posted on Facebook and on our website and through a press release that Habitat for Humanity comes and does office hours in our land use department somewhat regularly. And we post when they're going to be here. They have a table downstairs, and they sit and they talk with residents and help match them up to this grant program, or if they don't meet the criteria of this particular program or any of their programs, they resource them elsewhere. So.
Okay, because I just have to admit, I'm a Sandy, I recovered from losing everything, and the publicized, what were out there for us was very, very bad, and I found fault with that immensely. We didn't know any grants or anything, or where to go, and, where the funding is. So I just want to make sure that
If you leave your email address with the clerk, I can send it to you directly, but we do promote it.
People that I do know that are still not recovered. Thank God, I'm back and everything is recovered with me, but I was just questioning that. That's it, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Now I'll close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
With regards to 416 with beer and wine at Summerfest, I will say no to that and yes to the rest.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Abstain on 415 and yes to the rest.
Councilwoman Lydecker.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Vice President DeYoung.
Yes.
President Momolo.
Yes. Move on to the bill resolution computer.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $9,335,759.38.
Thank you. Open to council. Any questions?
God bless.
What's that?
Just say God bless.
Oh, no question. I have a question on page 13 under CME Associates. We have professional services that were rendered for planning board.
God bless.
Something must be catching up here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You ignored me, huh? All right, now I got more questions. I talked to you enough today, didn't I? Page 13, under CME Associates, they're planning board rider. We use a different firm for the for planning board.
Yeah, our planning board engineer does specific assignments, reviews the applications that are coming before the planning board for comment. We use our in-house engineers for other aspects of that application as well, sort of a checks and balances as they make their way through the system. They do site visits and so on and so forth. So we have an engineer representing the planning board, but we also have CME, which is our in-house engineers that look at different aspects of the application for township requirements.
So I'll review the projects. I think I bugged you enough with all the other questions. That was one that slipped by. No council? All right, I'm going to close council. Where are we? Motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Pontarero, second by Vice President DeYoung. Open to public? Sir?
I was going to ask a question on this resource building, but your explanation before, I think, took care of that. On page 12, for CMB Associates, Lake Riviera Park, there are two bills, $12,642 and $10,279. I didn't get a chance to talk to the business administrator today. She did call. We did not touch base with one another. If you can enlighten me, do you want all of the questions, or you want to take them one at a time?
Might as well just do one at a time. Well, you got a lot?
No.
Jen's got to get home. Mother wants her home before 9.
The $10,000, I'm sorry.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I'm listening. I'm listening.
The $10,279.80 Lake Riviera job charged by me is specific to a licensed remediation site professional that's required. We did a phase 1 out there in accordance with Green Acres regulations for environmental diligence, which is required for all Green Acres projects. Additional testing was required. There was fill brought in many years ago that we don't have paperwork for to determine that it was clean fill, and there was also a pool there many years ago, and that's why the fill was brought in, because of the pool that was there and is no longer there. So without any documentation for the fill, we were required to do additional testing. That second invoice is specific to the environmental work for the park. The other invoice is specific to the design of the park itself.
I just want to make sure there was no overlap. Okay. Thank you. This one I think is just a boo-boo. Page 15 and 16, creative visual systems. I'm not a mathematical genius, but as you guys know, I'm pretty good with my numbers. You add up these numbers, it doesn't come to $23,509. Where's the problem, or what am I missing here? If you look at page 15, it starts off with 6481.57, then a small one for 528, then a 14,995, a 427. Go to the next page, it's almost 16,499. Yeah.
You only have the 6,000 and 16.
Part of the 16,000. So there's three numbers to tally, the 6,400, the 528, and the 16,000. So did you add 14 and 400 on top of that?
Well, it's just a continuation of the number on the next page.
Oh, I see.
Take a look under 15-01233. You see that number, the purchase order number?
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
There's 9 items under that, 1 through 9. When you add those all up together, so that includes that 14.
That's the 16, okay. So you 16, 22, okay. So that's all on the one purchase order, even though
Right,
they
the 16.
separated?
There's a credit there too, to 5,000. You see the 5,000, number 4.
Okay.
takes
There's some minus
We're
signs in
good there
there.
as long as we didn't get shafted. The thunder that we had for the Baloo situation, we're still getting a bill for another $36.74. I thought we were done. On page 17 with Dakotas Fitzpatrick.
The agreement was reached at the last meeting, but we still had to facilitate the agreement, which needed to be reviewed and executed and processed.
Okay.
That happened the day of the meeting, actually. That's,
Yeah, there was still attorney fees.
Right, we had a previous bill. All right, so to do that, does he get paid by the hour? I mean, to review papers, $3,700 it's a lot of review.
That was his previous.
I think it's more than just reviewing papers. What happened at the last meeting was, I got a call actually from the Labor Council who's handling that. That was, literally a proposal came in that day.
Oh, okay.
So it was really just an agreement over the phone. I think there may have been, I don't know if there were any court proceedings after that, but it wasn't just a simple look at a piece of paper and finish it. I'll check into this though. I expect that this will be the last bill,
Okay.
but I'll check into that.
I hope so.
Just real quick, if you look at the top, that's the bill from March. See that? It's from March 2015. So there's going to be some bills, probably, I'm guessing, for April and May of 2015.
Okay.
There would have to be until.
Yeah, it is a March, yep.
So we're not, I mean, we're done, but we're not done with the paying part.
We may not.
Okay. Last thing, I guess, through the chair, two big ones. L&L Paving Company on page 39 for Duvel Beach. That's where we were storing some stuff, and I thought we were going to get reimbursed with Sandy money for that, or am I incorrect about? Is that the beach where we used to put a lot of equipment and whatnot?
Paving company is a contractor that's doing the paving of West Cupper, Jeanette, Ninth, and
Right,
those other streets.
But this particular one says it's for the beach. Is it for the beach, or it doesn't say streets?
It is for roads. It's for the
Oh, it's for roads, not for that lot
I
that they
think
use?
No.
that's the one we just
Deauville
approved
Beach
that
is
we're
the
getting
area.
reimbursed
That's
by, with the pipe from the MUA. That's
Do-
part of
We're
it,
do-
doing
in
the
the
roads,
township.
they just reimburse us for their portion
Right.
of it, but
Yeah.
this is the contractor doing those
for the
roads.
roads.
Deauville Beach is the
Okay,
section.
so
out
this
there.
is roads, not the lot
It's
that,
roads. It's
okay.
absolutely roads.
And in connection with that, the page 65, again, T&M. Are any of those where it says Sandy Planning Assistance, part of that, any of that going to be reimbursed for Sandy monies, do you know?
Yeah, we
We
got
are.
a grant from the DCA for $450,000 to do these reports. T&M is doing a couple of them we hired
Now,
three
that makes me
firms.
happy. That's the kind of stuff I get up here and I want to hear.
Yeah,
Okay.
we like grants too.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else on the bill resolution? Seeing none, close public, and roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Abstain on New Jersey press media, and yes to the rest.
Councilwoman Lydecker?
Yes.
Councilman Fosman?
Abstain on the MUA and yes to the rest.
Councilwoman Pontoriero?
Yes.
Vice President DeYoung?
Yes.
President Momolo?
Yes. 428 Bill Resolution Manual, 2015.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $2,949,551.42.
Open to council. No questions, close council. Motion and second.
Motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fosman, second by Vice President DeYoung. Open to public. No one from public, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Abstain township payroll, yes to the rest.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lydecker?
Yes.
Councilman Fosman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero?
Yes.
Vice President DeYoung?
Yes.
President Momolo?
Yes. 5-1, ordinance on first reading. No public hearing on the first reading. Authorize acceptance of donated property, Block 84, Lot 3. Somebody's phone is ringing, that's mine. It's vibrating and driving me crazy. This property is on Meadowlark Road on the south side. The owner has no use for the parcel and would like to donate it to the township. The property is wetlands and not buildable.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the acceptance of the donation of property known as Block 84, Lot 3, for no consideration.
Thank you. This is a piece of property that butts up to a township-owned piece right now. It's mostly wetlands. I believe it's assessed at $44,000. Our taxes last year were $925.17. So this is something that the people want to donate to the town, and I'm not sure whether we'll be able to use this to put into foresight at a later date, but we're going to look into that. Ordinance 6-1, ordinance on the second reading. What's that?
We need a vote.
Vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Roll call.
Well, we need a motion and a second.
Motion
first.
and a second.
Motion.
I'm just flying
Make
through
a
stuff
motion.
tonight. Right. It's Jen's mom. She wants her home before 9, so that's why.
Mr. President.
Motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Pontarero.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Lydecker. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lydecker.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Vice President DeYoung.
Yes.
President Momolo.
Yes.
Thank you.
6-1 ordinance on a second reading. Authorize street vacation Cutter Lane Fire Station.
An ordinance vacating a fire station easement area lying between Lot 1 and Block 44.12, also known as Lot 1 and Block 44E5, and Lot 1 and Block 44.14, also known as Lot 1 and Block 44E7, on map D32, entitled Section 2, Manalooking Shores, Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey.
Thank you. This is a 25-foot, I believe it's, I'm not quite sure the site, it's a 25-foot sewer easement that'll be left there. The neighbors on each side will take possession of the property that's split in half. It's useless to the town. It was used for a fire station where they would throw the pipes, the hoses in the pump in case of a fire, but now that we have the fire system, city water, we won't need that. The residents, I believe, fixed the bulkheads at their own cost because of it deteriorating, which saved the township a considerable amount of money. So we're looking to just give that back to them, and that what'll happen is that property will be divided between the two and then become taxable. So we'll get revenue back for the property we haven't gotten revenue on. A motion and a second?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Moore and second by Vice President DeYoung. Open to the public. Sir?
I did have time to do homework on this one.
Okay.
Yes, and everything that you had said, I went to the tax assessor's office and found out the adjacent properties. My question was, in the past, I had thought that some of these situations were similar where there were, and this was like a pump out, fire pump out.
There's a lot of them.
That they don't use. Yeah, there's a
Yep.
lot of them. But before, on some of them, we offered it to the neighboring people and they paid for them. This one, we're giving. I am appreciative of the fact that evidently it did need a bulkhead, and whoever fixed it at their own cost.
Right.
I was told that that was going to be a considerable amount of money, which we saved, we don't have to pay. And it's going to add tax rateable still, not a lot, it's only 800 square feet.
Right.
But has it been conveyed yet or not conveyed? Who gave the authority to put the bulkhead there when you didn't even do the conveyance yet?
It was done, Counsel? You want-
It has not been conveyed yet.
No, it hasn't been
This-
conveyed.
This ordinance, once it becomes effective, will have the effect of vacating that paper street, so it has not yet been conveyed.
I'm not sure who gave
But
them.
we're all required to get permits to do a bulkhead. So somebody put a bulkhead there, just another issue that I would think should have been resolved beforehand. I mean, I'm glad
It may
that,
have been, right?
I don't know who.
Wasn't that bulkhead done a while ago, though?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
done. It
quite
was
a while
done-
ago,
does-
so.
Does done a while ago.
Maybe put it on its own. I don't know.
say again?
Maybe put it on his own permit. Maybe we did his own. I don't
With a
know.
hammer,
No, maybe
gonna
he
hire
did his
that
own
guy if he
bulkhead.
could.
Maybe he did his own bulkhead, I hired a company, had his section done. Maybe they just extended a little bit into there. I don't know.
I want to point out that this piece of land, it's 43 by 20. It couldn't be sold to anyone. In other words, the township couldn't sell it and make money on it to another third party.
Oh,
It
no,
can
no,
only go to the
no,
neighboring
I'm not saying
parcels.
go out to a third party, because, again, it's useless because of the size.
Right.
But in the same situation before, we had little 20-foot parcels, of which we did recoup some money in the past.
I think we're probably recouping money here because that bulkhead cost would be considerable for the township to
Which,
to put in.
we had that conversation, that's compensation enough, to be honest with you.
We'll still have the easement on there too, for whatever reason, sewer easement.
Exactly.
Sir, you had raised your hand. Do you want to comment on that?
Yes. My name is Anthony Mezzatester. I'm the owner of 300 Cutter Lane. And
Okay.
I was the one one that fixed the bulkhead.
There you go.
Perfect.
There you go. There you go.
When the storm occurred, when the storm occurred, it came through our property, knocked all the trees down, broke the bulkhead. And as of right now, there's sand in the lagoon, which is above the water level. So at the time, the state and the county and the town all said they did not own it. So I obtained an attorney, we did title searches, and that's when it was recommended that I go through the vacation of the property. So I went through the vacation of the property. The state would not dredge the lagoon while the bulkhead was in the condition that it was. So I had spent $20,000 replacing 48 feet of bulkhead.
Wow.
So they could come in. Unfortunately, the state now, which I'm asking for your help also, is saying the contract is over, we're gone, we're not gonna dredge the lagoon, you'll have to do it. And my response is, look, I don't own the lagoon, and boats and jet skis that normally would come down to the end of the lagoon can't get down there anymore. So I'm working with the state, they're looking into it to see if they could come back, and I'm gonna ask eventually for all of your help to see if you could get the state to come back and dredge, you know, the area that's there.
Okay.
I have pictures before, after, of what.
And you brought that up while they were dredging, while the dredgers were in.
Yeah, but they wouldn't do it until I
bulkhead was
repaired the
repaired.
bulkhead. That's why the engineers and the town of Brick gave me a permit to have the bulkhead repaired,
Okay.
thinking that they would come in, but they said they're gone and they won't do it.
I'm
But they're
not
now
quite
looking
sure
into
what you do now as far as dredging. A dredging permit's usually very difficult to
I'll
get.
reach out to, DCA and DEP and all them.
I could send you the names of the people that I've been in touch with.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Give me those names, and then I'll, obviously I'll go to the commissioners themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll look into it for you, for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Thank you.
you.
Answered that question. There you go.
Yeah.
Should have had him come up first. Anyone else from public? Closed public, roll call.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lydecker.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Vice President DeYoung.
Yes.
President Momolo.
Yes.
Thank you.
7, public comments.
Oh,
Throwing you off this week, eh?
sorry.
I can't say it anymore.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting with public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Sir?
Stephen Brill, Evergreen Woods. Yesterday, the Evergreen Woods Park Association had a meeting to present the Turnpike Authority plan that would address the serious and costly problems resulting from the shoulder widening and basin projects. The plan consists of planting of about 200 trees and bushes along the border fence next to the parkway right-of-way for about 1,100 feet. Between each 7-foot-tall Leland cypress would be 2 bushes. The plantings would be in a single row. Any plantings that did not survive during the first year will be replaced at no cost to the Evergreen Woods homeowners. Thereafter, the homeowners would bear the cost. This remediation plan fails for the following reasons. To be effective in visually screening the parkway, the trees need to be 10 to 12 feet tall. It is estimated that this would take between 3 to 5 years. The use of bushes between each evergreen accomplishes nothing, as the bushes would never provide the height necessary. Therefore, a solid hedge of trees is necessary. As pointed out by our landscape consultant, the only purpose the trees would provide would be in the distant future as a visual-only screen. The sound level would stay the same. According to our representatives who attended the meeting with the Turnpike Authority and Mayor Ducey here in the municipal building, the mayor never brought up a sound wall. In fact, the mayor did little or nothing during this negotiating session. The result of that meeting was as expected. The Turnpike dictated terms, and our elected representatives, township representatives, merely acted as observers. The homeowners were left with no effective representation. This was also made clear at the association meeting, that the association does not have the resources to fight the Turnpike. but if the homeowners wish to pursue a legal remedy, they would have to finance it themselves. What I do not understand is why this council and the mayor are not using the town's resources to force the Turnpike Authority to provide a viable solution. It is your primary responsibility to protect the residents, not only the ones at Evergreen Woods, but throughout Brick Township, who have been adversely affected by the Turnpike Authority. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Burrell, I was in that meeting, and I just feel the need to mention that your association was there as well, and they didn't ask for a sound wall. So I think
Correct.
it's,
I was in the meeting as well.
he is the only person who mentioned the sound wall. I just think to put everything you said in its proper relevance, it's important to point out that the folks that were there representing your association are the ones that didn't ask for these things. So to expect,
They said you didn't.
he mentioned the sound wall.
They said you didn't.
They did not mention the sound wall. These are your representatives.
We're having, were minutes taken at the meeting?
I took personal notes, but it wasn't our meeting. We were the ones that coordinated this discussion so that the Turnpike Authority could talk directly to your association. It wasn't our meeting to take notes or to document. We were facilitating a discussion that you have asked us to do repeatedly, and we have done repeatedly. But if your association isn't going to lobby for the things that you specifically want, that's not the fault of this mayor or administration. You need to be talking to your association.
Well, we did.
And they're not doing what it is that you specifically want them to do, but
No,
that's
they're
not the
saying-
fault
they're
of the
saying
mayor.
One thing, you're saying something else, and no one is taking.
Our actions speak for ourselves. I've gone to the Turnpike Association twice. We've coordinated and hosted these meetings. That's a fact. Our actions speak for ourselves. We have done everything we've told you we would.
Next from the public. Ma'am? Because I didn't see you last time, I'm sorry, I'll bring you up this time.
Do I have to repeat my name?
Yes, please.
Marlene Garris, 35 Cabana Drive. I just on a negative.
Pull that mic down a little bit.
Sorry, I
That's
just
okay.
want to say about the recycling and the garbage pickup.
Okay.
I moved down here in 1999, and we had twice a week pickup for garbage. I can't remember recycling, maybe the same. But I just can't see why in the summer months, even with the grant, money, if we could use some of that, why we can't have just in the summer months, not even June, July and August, twice a week pickup. And I would really like the
Of what,
council.
of twice a week pickup?
A garbage?
Of garbage.
Where's Cabana Drive?
Cabana Drive, off of John Point.
Drum Point, okay.
Okay.
Do you have one
No, it
pail
sounded
or two
familiar, I
pails?
couldn't place it.
I have one.
You can purchase another pail. I
Okay,
think.
so that's going to alleviate the problem. I
Well-
have to purchase another pail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To
the
get
first one
rid
was
of all
given.
my garbage. Okay. And what about the recycling? Isn't it advantageous for the township? I don't know the program, maybe I should look into it. You do get funding for the recycling that you do,
Right,
okay, per
from the
household?
county.
Or how much, or whatever the situation is. So in my, mind here, isn't it more if we do it twice a week? Or, once,
Well,
instead
that's
of
not
once every other week?
That necessarily is not going to make more recycling, having
In
it
the
done twice a
summer,
week.
in the summer months?
I would
I
think
beg to differ with you. I don't know, I
people-
look down my block and
I don't
people-
believe it covers the cost of what it would take for our
it's-
workers to do the job.
And the extra trucks.
And extra
You-
trucks, we would need to purchase more trucks.
It's
Because
very
we would need to
costly.
add more people to
But
the
in
routes.
the, okay, I had a problem with that years and years ago, and the problem was they gave me, well, during the summer, we have a shortened manpower because of vacation time and all this and everything, and that was the problem. But as they didn't never mention anything about trucks being the problem.
But the Hill is always open too, every day and on Saturdays too.
That's
that you
not the
can-
problem with the recycling. I'm saying
Well, you
for
can
the
bring
town-
recyclings.
Right, but for the town, wouldn't it be advantageous for them to make money if you're
It would-
recycling?
It would
It
most
wouldn't
likely
cover the
cost a
cost
lot
of our
more.
So
employees
it
and
would
the
be
extra
not
trucks.
It
but
wouldn't
equally
be- it wouldn't-
balanced.
But
No.
Okay.
I should mention that
All right,
our
underline.
recycling number has gone up significantly. People are recycling, we're educating them,
Right,
we're making the
that's what
cans
I'm
available.
saying. So,
Well,
it's-
now what you're saying is that we would make more if we did it twice a week, but what I'm saying is we're already making more without doing it twice a week.
You can
But during
purchase
the
another
summer
can.
months, I'm not talking about the whole year, I'm just saying basically the summer
We'd
months.
still
when
have to
people would-
purchase the equipment, the
Okay.
manpower, it
Okay,
would be-
all right, and a lot of people in my area are having a big problem with the pickup. If your garbage stays on a Monday, they say call, and you can have it pick up on, different items that you're, putting
Bulk
out.
pickup, that is.
Bulk
Bulk pickup day. My neighbors have been putting stuff out, and this is pre-site Sandy, it's not even, an issue. but like, the stuff weighs there for like days and days and
They have to,
days.
they need to
pick
call.
up certain
They have
days,
to call
that's
DPW.
when you call.
My neighbor, Mr. Var, calls all the time. He's a very,
If you call and tell them you're gonna put out stuff,
They
they'll
come.
tell you when to put it out. and
okay, I'll
what
let
to
him
do.
know that.
Yeah,
because
call it
he'll
the
be
DPW.
calling in one. All right, that's not a bad note. On a negative note, on a positive note,
Positive.
rather. I just want to commend whoever established redoing the park on Drum Point. I think it's Hibber, is that how you pronounce it?
Angela
Hibbert.
Right. Is that Green Acres funding, first of all?
No.
Do you remember? No?
It's for Green Acres funding, but we have not heard yet. We're
No.
proceeding
Right.
without
With-
that
Without
decision.
their funding, okay, because I know Green Acres, you have to open it up to anybody as far as people that can.
The
go
park
there.
itself is on our Rossi, which is a recreation and open space inventory, so the park itself is encumbered parkland and meets
Okay.
all the requirements for Green Acres, that Green Acres has for properties, which include that it has to be open to the general public. So
Okay.
whether or not they provide us additional funding for this
Right.
park improvement is irrelevant because it's considered an encumbered parkland by the state of New Jersey.
Okay, and I just want to commend it because that park is long overdue, and I know that whole
Gonna
section,
get done.
we're very happy with it, you know, once you get established.
look
Is there a
really
date
nice,
for
too.
that park to get worked on?
I think it's
or-
September.
September.
Yeah, Councilwoman.
Yeah, because I thought I almost expected that we were going to,
We
have
hope
we
to-
gone out to bid?
We
yet? I
have
know
not gone, we
authorized
have
the
not
bid in
gone out to
March.
bid. We had some changes to the specs, but they're in the final design. We should be going out to bid shortly. The council has already authorized us to go out to bid. So we're just working out some final kinks. The Phase 1 preliminary assessment report that I mentioned with Lake Riviera has been completed for Angela Hibbert with no issues, so we don't expect
good.
any holdups. We're, as soon
Well, I
as we get the
appreciate it.
plans
I know
out to
everybody
bid.
in that area just, because I've been going down that area since the 60s, and it's been the same. So, Mayor, Council, I appreciate all your efforts.
And when you
Thank you.
track what's happening here, you'll see
The next activity would be to award a contract for the construction.
Mhm.
Thank you.
For the man that's not wearing yellow, please come up. Because he said he doesn't wear yellow. He's not wearing yellow. Yeah, so she looks, what?
I would be remiss, during the resolutions, I didn't even look at my own note, on R20 and R21, where there were 32 volunteers of firemen and 5 on the
Five.
other, total of 37. I want to congratulate all of those dedicated people and give them a sincere thank you for what they do. Looking at it, I had asked the council secretary earlier, what does an exempt fireman certificate do? But you did mention it, that
It's a
gives
state.
them $500, not nearly enough for what they do. But again, thank you to those 37 people and to all the volunteers on the fire department. While I'm up here giving thank yous, thank you to this resident, I mean, for being proactive, to step up and do that and lay out your own money.
Oh, yeah.
It's big. It's a big accomplishment. So, yeah, he should have got it first.
Yeah, right,
That would have cleared that up.
Time's ticking.
Yeah, that's okay, because I don't have that much. I'm going to let her be home by 9.
Yeah, her mom wants her home.
I thought I heard on the news tonight that the court ruling was in favor of our governor, where they're not going to put the pension monies that were needed for the pension reform. I find that a little sad. I think, that
didn't
was
hear that.
put in the state budget, that all of the people that belong, that work here, that earn pensions, I mean, it keeps getting shakier and shakier every year that they don't put that money where it belongs.
It's a lot of money.
And that is a sad scenario. The last question, and that is again about the transfers. The fact that the business administrator enlightened me that we are on a fiscal January to December. You only have 25%. So looking at this where it says 18 million, if we only spent that for 6 months, I'd really be a happy camper.
That's-
The 18 million, the 26% that you can, right. Is this just for transfers of monies within that 18 million? Okay, that answers that. And last but not least, has nothing to do with the council, but as of this Thursday, on June 11th, it'll be my happy anniversary of 49 years married to a wonderful lady, and I want to thank her for letting me come and do the research that I do, for the work that I do, and hopefully, try to save taxpayers' money. So Kathy, thank you, and we're going out Thursday and having a great
There
time.
you go. We're gonna take her somewhere nice. I hope.
See if you save me more money, I could afford a better dinner.
Yeah.
Use your buy and brick card.
Council
Yeah.
President
Yes,
Mumolo.
Buy a brick,
Buy
Mark.
and brick. Can I,
Who wants
can I
to
add
be
one
next?
thing? Can I add one thing to
Oh,
Mr.
sure.
Scott's
Sure,
comments?
please.
I want to take a page from your book at the last meeting when he stood up and acknowledged our DPW employee who was retiring. At least two of the members on this list who are exempt firemen are members of our DPW. So they are committed to their community in many ways. And I'll take a page from your book and say thank you to all of them.
Thank you.
Just in case anybody want to do more thank yous.
Yeah.
John Slucas, 950 Sylvia Court, obviously here in Brick. My letter that I'm reading is slightly different, obviously, because I told you that at the meeting like yesterday, and I wouldn't have that part in. But since Evergreen Woods had that management meeting yesterday for the residents, many of us heard what the Turnpike had to say, and I didn't write much because I knew that other people would say stuff. But now I'll say a little bit. Without a wall of some kind and sound pollution barriers, it can't be perfect, but at least it's a start. For what you people did and what we did and what everybody else did, a couple of years ago the Turnpike said they'll do nothing. At least they gave a start, but it is only a start. So obviously I'll be here for the next 2 years, more at least. Okay. The NJTA feels they are doing what is necessarily probably just to shut us up. But the board itself sort of can either only reject or accept what was proposed before them at this point. And in my thing, you accept it and then move on to the next thing and go, because there's nothing that we're not agreeing that that's the only thing they're going to do. We're just taking what they can give us. And their plan is similar to the one that the state had 2 years ago that got under no net loss funds and it got rejected. So that's what it looks like to me. They're basically making it up. And the good part is they're not using any public funds. They're using the NJTA funds. So no net loss actually is more money into Brick because we didn't use it up over in Evergreen Woods. So that at least, gotten money back into the other parks or wherever else you're going with them. Okay, now the rest of my letter, if I finish it. To move on into this meeting, let me once again bring light to the problem before us all. Acres of trees were chopped down by the New Jersey Turnpike Authority initially, and the residents felt the impact of trucks, cars, buses, motorcycles, and everything else that shook them from their beds. The noise bellowed into the homes of thousands of residents day and night, and it still continues today, 2 years after the initial assault. What was missed initially was the long-term health impact of these polluting vehicles, dumping those auto emissions, truck diesel contaminants on the residents. Even today, the NJTA is proud of the fact on their website that they move 300,000 cars back and forth through Brick every day. So if you look at the website, you can see that the man-made destruction at NJTA has caused illnesses to the school children, with increasing asthma attacks. You could ask school nurses. There's many more kids going in. And there's shortened life expectancies of our seniors in the senior villages, and in reality, all of us. The NJTA continues to verbally deny any problem associated with their environmental destruction of the landscape of the parkway, but their actions are acknowledging that they've harmed thousands of residents. They put that berm up to remove some of the noise they made near mile marker 93.5 on the parkway, and they obviously didn't do it because they're just good and neighborly people. They were acknowledging the problem they caused. To protect the residents, they have added a half-mile of guardrail now, almost a half-mile, to prevent cars, trucks, and buses from running off the parkway into the homes and backyards of residents of Evergreen Woods. One must ask, if they added this area of the 65-mile-an-hour exiting lane because of safety, as they say, why did they have to add the quarter mile of the guardrail that's basically near Evergreen Woods, where they intentionally removed the trees if there was no safety issue by doing that? Obviously, this thing. So yes, this is an acknowledgement that they have created a problem and impacted tens of thousands of Brick residents. This adding of a small group of shrubs and trees is just a drop in the bucket. We all realize the millions of profits they funnel to their supporters was their primary motivation, but of course they can never publicly say that. We must continue to fight on, and will do so. To quote a part of a speech by one of our leaders, freedom isn't free. I heard that at one of our events. So we must stand and fight in the community. We must free ourselves from the abuses of the big government agency. So what a big government agency can do to one resident, they can do to thousands, and then to tens of thousands. What is needed has been needed since the NJTA began. This man-made assault on the environment is a retaining wall to keep the pollutants, the dangerous traffic flow, and the noise from further harming residents. By their actions, the NJTA is acknowledging culpability in this health and safety issue associated with the problems they have caused. So we fight on and must fight on. Thanks for your time.
Good.
I yell back 8 seconds.
Who's next? Ma'am? Oh, sir, you want to, sir, you come back up.
I just had a question of.
Well, come up, please come up to the mic. Your name again, please. And
Anthony Mezzatesti, 300 Cutter Lane. As I was sitting down, I didn't hear whether we voted on number 6, ordinance of second reading. Do we vote that and pass it?
Yes. Now you can. The coin tosser may come up now. Thank you.
Captain.
Hmm?
Record a captain. Captain.
Then call 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. Not that they do, but my family cannot say I'm good for nothing. I'm good for coin tossing. And I never pitched pennies. I think that's similar. And that's something before all of your times.
Yes.
The Evergreen Woods Association are elected to handle matters in the association and frequently don't do the right thing. They're not there to represent the homeowners in anything outside of the association itself. Therefore, I would not trust them even to bring the matter properly to the Parkway Authority. I witnessed in my own community when there was a bill proposed that dealt with regulations for homeowner associations, and the trustees at the time said they were going to write a letter to our elected legislators that they were against it. And when I said, you don't have that right, you're not speaking for us, you did not take the pulse of the community, but they didn't care. And I was one that was in Trenton advocating for that particular bill. So that said, also, I don't think there's a person here that was around, I think the year was 2007, when the Parkway, the county, and the people had a viewing of what they were going to do with the Parkway. And we were told that they would keep us informed, they would keep us involved. In fact, even the Ocean County engineer has since retired quite a number of years ago, Ron Latrecchio. But they've never done that. The things that go on always wind up with him, somebody else. And that happens with the roadways, that it's their fault. And I'm not faulting the association about whether they did or they didn't, but you are our first branch of elected officials to advocate for us, not the association. That's a whole separate problem. And when I say everything is he said, she said, or they're responsible, Route 70 is a state road. Chambers Bridge, from what I've heard, is a county road. And then there are some small roads in Brick. I think it's high time that it be identified that any road or anything like that that exists within a township should be under the purview and the decisions of the township and not having to go to all these different entities. I come from Brooklyn, New York. Forget about it. In Brooklyn, New York, there is a road that if you look at some signs tells you that it's, I think, a state road. It might be an interstate 27. Goes out to Long Island, which Brooklyn was once part of. But Brooklyn is responsible for everything that happens on the roadways within Brooklyn. Likewise, the rest of, in fact, New York City is responsible for it, and they can transfer between boroughs. I remember that one of the things that was up for discussion before and separate was Burrsville, going out particularly from Jack Martin to Route 88. The flooding along the curb is absolutely horrible. Lord rest my husband, Patrick. He was taking me home from having some same-day surgery right before Christmas several years ago, and the car rounding from Jack Martin went into our van. Thank God there was no serious injury, but the problem was the icing that occurred because of not ever doing it. It appears that the problem that causes it is there is no sewer cut in there. It's high time that whatever it is and however much it costs, it gets done. I know you're going to say it's a county road. Well, then you're the first line of defense. Go demand it from the county that they fix it.
There's been plenty of complaints on that property, and there is plans of changing.
I've made complaints way
There is
back.
something in the works to change that whole
Yeah,
area there.
That's what I heard, and then
will
it
take
was
a while.
going to be done in conjunction with the Parkway, but I've not yet to see.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know
That's
there's
what I'm
been-
telling you. None of you were here. Again, in 2010. They said they were going to do it when they did the Parkway because Burrsville does impact on the Parkway or is impacted. So it's
Thank you.
time it get done. It's dangerous and it's terrible.
Thank you. Who next? Ma'am?
Evening. I have people I knew had ESQ after their names. Who else has ESQ after their names? Would that be you? Anybody else?
No.
Not that anybody
Don't
else
broadcast it.
is-
They confuse me with her.
Anybody else? Okay, I'll make a couple copies. Michelle Spector, Evergreen Woods. The reason that I am bringing this up again is because this really hasn't been used to its full advantage. This is a court case that shows that the DEP, demanding basins in every project across the state, has broken the law and is not following their own policy. It was won unanimously in this particular courtroom. However, the DEP is still demanding basins. And so that's what happened to our community. They wanted the basin, they cut down the center median, and as a result, we have 8 lanes of traffic. People are complaining they're getting sick, and the noise has doubled. Imagine 1 lane, 2 lanes double it. Imagine living near an 8-lane highway. I grew up in Old Bridge. We had the raceway. It was miles away. You could still hear it. Imagine if you were right next to it. I guess what we were hoping that would happen out of the association meeting and the Turnpike Authority here was that council would take a stronger hand with the Turnpike Authority, not just be, making sure everybody behaved themselves or they were talking to each other. Because this case, the only reason that we got trees was because we mentioned this case repeatedly at the Turnpike Authority meeting. Since the DEP did this, DEP has the authority and the Turnpike Authority has the money. They can just keep bonding anything, any kind of project. So because we mentioned this to them, that we hinted at them, we didn't actually come out and tell them that, they broke the law. What are you going to do now? They wanted to shut us up as quickly as possible. You can use this as leverage. This should have been mentioned. I know we sent this. It needs to be mentioned again and again and again. I can't express this enough that this is leverage. This case is leverage to get our town what it needs. And not only that, I was just walking around and talking to people. Anybody in your house getting, and I keep hearing from other people, come to mention it. Yeah, about 2.5 years ago, that's when our problems in our house started. And actually, one of the people on our board, or on the council, whatever they call themselves, my wife is coughing all the time. Oh, yeah, my child is sick, too, and that's the only one that actually voted against just having trees. And they decided that they were going to go for trees,
but they want to document everybody in our Evergreen Woods that's gotten sick, well, which I think is a very good idea. So with that in mind and this, maybe there's something more that we can push them to do. But please read this. I mean, you can actually look, it mentions a case on here, you can actually look it up and read it, you know, in all its legalese on different legal websites. What was I going to say? Because for somebody that broke the law, whether willingly or not, they still did it, they should be falling all over themselves to do something. And they're only doing this to shut us up, which of course pisses us off more, but something still needs to be done. We can still push them, say, oh, you know what? You're doing this. This is a good start. What about this? What about your culpability? Shouldn't you be doing more? I mean, it's a perfect way for them to save face. Save face with the communities that you have harmed, the wonderful, you know, marvelous Turnpike Authority, you know. Got hoodwinked by the DEP, whatever. But more can be done on this. So we will begin, I guess, shortly documenting. I guess we're going to have to go door to door. My little door to door ended up in like 2 days of headaches because the fumes were out that day. So for like the next 2 days, I was having headaches from just an hour and a half out in that. And the people actually on the end, everybody is bad. That area is worse because they cut the trees all over the fence. They have nothing there. And so there's like, I think there's like 3 courts there in the end. They're the absolute worst. You know, we're all bad, but they're the worst. And so something really has to be done, more than what's been done. Like I said, leverage. Please read all about this and use it to your full advantage. Okay? Thank you very much.
Next from public. Ma'am?
Good evening. I'm Lennis Moreno. I'm from Evergreen Woods. I'm just here to reiterate what was told to us at the meeting last night. We're between a rock and a hard place. And I said, the only thing that we have to do is make enough noise, even if we have to picket the town hall right here, and get notoriety. Maybe we can get somebody to do a class action. If the Evergreen Woods has no funds, obviously the people that live there don't have the funds. We've already told they're going to raise our maintenance costs next year. That's a definite. They can't meet their budget as well as the governor and everybody else. And as far as the mayor, please, go knock on the governor's door. Harass him, like we're harassing you. We are legitimately harassing you because we need to get something done. We're going to campaign if we have to go door to door and find out how many kids are really sick in this town, because it's really bad. I wear a mask. If I have to walk outside, I would have to wear a mask. Otherwise, I can't breathe from the allergies. So imagine these poor kids that are subjected to this every day. My grandson, who never had allergies before, he has now, he's 16. He will be 17 the end of June. He's got sinuses and allergies problems. I've stated my case. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Sir?
Thank you, Mr. Gansel.
Thank you.
You can just give us all. We'll pass them.
You can pass it over. We'll do it that way.
I'll take all of them, pass them down.
Jim Cancel, Maple Leaf Park. Did you, anybody here remember the movie A Bridge Too Far? Anybody see that?
Read the book.
War movie?
Heard of it.
Bridge
Never
Too
seen
Far.
it.
Read the book.
The Americans thought they were in Germany, to win the war, they needed to take 3 bridges. And at the end of the fighting, they really got stomped on the third bridge, and the guy asked what happened. He says, I think we went a bridge too far.
Do you want a bridge? Is that
No.
where you're going with this?
I want to take...
I know what you're saying, but I mean, I'm just saying, just get to your point, because you're
You know,
using
Mr.
time.
Mamulo, I really respect you. I
Right.
looked up your records and home ownership and all that. You've done really well, yet you came at the... You passed the ordinance and you did it in a fashion, but I don't feel the same respect from me. I don't know why.
Well, I don't cut you. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to
I'm moving there.
help you to get to your point, because you're.
There was a drug bust recently. 34 people arrested, 9 from Lakewood. Two of the tenants were from Maple Leaf Landlords. I asked about a hearing officer if he was elected, and can those landlords be on this ordinance we passed? Can we have the teeth of this ordinance bite into them? I don't know what's happened, but what I want to say is there's a real problem, drug problem. I called the prosecutor's office. I think Brick should expand the code enforcement. We should form what I passed out here, a community impact team. That act there, I'm trying to find if it's actually if it's been legislated. Maybe you let me know, but you have the ability to have people who are drug dealers to be expedited out of a community, ordered not to go back into a community. It's a weapon we don't use, we don't utilize. And I can tell you, when I talked with the lady down at the prosecutor's office, there's a very serious problem. Now, if you remember in Lakewood recently, the horror house of the animal, where they found the dogs covered in feces, 40 of them, that was, again, a rental property. Once it got discovered, it was boarded up. Brick is becoming a dumping ground for this kind of thing, because if you go to Lakewood, go down Lanes Mill Road into Lakewood, look at all the building going on. Look at all the construction. There's an element in that community that believes their purpose in God is to take over without much regard for anybody else. And it's up to Brick. You have the ability to fashion safeguards. I don't know how long you're going to be in office, but the one thing you can do while you're in this office is leave something lasting. I appreciate the work you've done. That's what I'm saying. There's another bridge to be taken.
I know you talk to code officials, or you're quite
I
active
talked to Ed. Well, he's hard to get a hold of. But you know, there's a program I also mentioned called the State Housing Licensing Inspection Program, where we can be paid to do the same thing the state does. We can make money. Once your code enforcement guys get certified, every hotel, motel, condominium, you will get paid to do by the state. I never heard anything from that. I think that's a win-win for this town. I'll get Mr. Scott on you. But they'll put the foot right there. But no, seriously, folks, I'm asking for a community impact team. And if you read that, I gave you some pages in there.
Yep.
But it requires a lawyer to approve what's going on, and that's what I'm asking for.
We'll put this in public safety and have our attorney
Absolutely.
look at it, too.
And you know, there was a young girl recently was injured. Did you read about that? The guy was doing drugs. She got her neck broken in a car accident. And then when they stopped him, he was trying to hide the drugs. You know, it's one thing when you hear about people, it's sad enough to hear about people doing drugs contacting HIV, but it's very sad to hear about someone innocent who had nothing to do with it. And this is the situation we face here. And safety and welfare has to be top priority. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm bringing something to your attention
Okay.
that
No, that's good.
That's really important.
Public safety will definitely, who's public safety?
All right.
Right here.
Andrea?
Right here.
It's right,
Right.
Mary.
Here's what I want to say. Or if one loves justice, from the Book of Wisdom, if one loves justice, the fruits of her works are virtues. You know what happened down in Baltimore? There's a lot of people that didn't love justice. What do you think? That's what happened, the works. Stand down, let the people destroy what's going on, and we'll deal with it later. Well, police got hurt, buildings got burned, and you know why? It's the same thing. They don't love justice. If you love justice, you will build a wall for the people around you. Thank you.
Sir?
Sam Foster, 108 Teco Drive. Just want to make a comment related to what the last speaker spoke about with drugs. I said this before. I think it's more important to get more police out on the streets to combat crime. I know that I didn't bring an article with me, but President Obama was in Camden and he was complimenting the work of the Camden. I think it's the county police. I don't have my facts totally straight on that, but I want to understand Camden dissolved their police force and they created a county police department. President Obama did say that there has been a drop in crime, and he did make some points similar to what the last speaker was talking about how the drop in crime was related to the tactics used by the police, which was more police patrols and things along that line. So I think that's very important to get more police out on the streets, and that's what the comment I had about that. I also want to, on a unrelated note, this is more like a general statement. I guess it's I'm not very good at math, so I'm not going to try and calculate the anniversary, but the D-Day landing anniversary from World War II was just a few days ago. I'm not going to even make the attempt at making the calculation, but there are a lot of very important battles, World War II battles, that are coming up in the next few months, like the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August. And so I just want to bring that to everybody's attention, that we should pay tribute, keep our thoughts of the vets in mind in general terms, and also because they've done a lot of, made a lot of sacrifices for us over the years. I spoke about this at the county freeholder meeting. I was more eloquent then, but I had time to concentrate on what I was going to say. But just hope that everybody has the thoughts of our troops in mind with this important months that are coming up. From there's we just passed up on the anniversary of the end of World War II, and I think it was April 30th. And so it's very important that we keep in mind our vets in these times, because they did contribute a lot to our society that we have today. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Seeing that, oh, sir, you want to come back up? What's that? Okay, a minute or two. Which one do you want, a minute or two? We could get that coin. We could toss the coin there and say whether you got a minute or two.
I just want to give you an update on what's happening in Maple Leaf. There's
Okay.
board elections, which every year the same guys have been in there, I told you, because we don't get a quorum. But this year on my candidate resume, I pulled no punches. I drew a little blood. I called them a Three Stooge board. I detailed some of the improprieties, this and that. They came back with recently a letter with no signatures, no return address.
That doesn't sound good.
And it's from residents of Maple Leaf Park, who I call it the Baltimore contingent, but whatever you want to call it, that this basically against me, some low blows. I recently was informed today that the president of the association put out a 4-page letter, again about me combating the things I said. So I'm giving you an update. I don't know where this is going, but I'm a little shocked, because usually the quorum, it ends up the same thing, not enough votes. So somewhere you guys must have, with what we did, really has rocked this situation pretty good. And I just want to thank you for that. You took that bridge in the face of the landlords and their Duck Dynasty lawyer that showed up. But so thank you. And it's a fierce battle right now. I noticed that on the letters, both were mailed out of Trenton, but the one didn't have a return address. And the president is now fashioning, I don't know why, but fashioning a 4-page letter talking about lawyers and everything. So thank you. And
it's a continuing thing, too.
June 22nd is the election. I wouldn't mind if a squad car was positioned at the clubhouse.
Okay.
We'll take a note.
Well, we'll have to take, that's a police matter. We'll have to take that up to police. We don't control the
Oh,
police.
okay.
But, well, okay.
You're all welcome to.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Seeing none, closing public. We'll go to council comments. Start with our administration. Ms. Berger, would you like to say anything?
I have nothing else to add, thank you.
Mayor, would you like to say something?
Yes, thank you. I recently attended the St. Paul's Christian School. They have their 50th anniversary. It was a good event out on the baseball field behind the school. They had a petting zoo there. There was we named it St. Paul's Christian School Day. So also a bunch of DARE graduations going on. I didn't make it to St. Paul's. That was on May 26th. I know Councilwoman Zapsik was there. I did go to St. Dominic's today. I have Drum Point School tomorrow and Herbertsville on Thursday. And the DARE program is great. It's for fifth graders. They get to learn a lot of information about choices to make with regards to drug use, alcohol use, tobacco use. And Officer John and Officer Tara of our police department give them a lot of information. They let the kids wear the drunk goggles one day, so they get to experience, I guess, what it would feel like to be drunk. Officer John brought in the K9 drug sniffing dog for demonstration, and a lot of good information. It gives kids the right information in order to make the proper choices and become great citizens in the future. I did attend Career Day at Midstreams Elementary School and spoke about both being a lawyer and being a mayor. They were nice enough to give me this great thank you card signed by all the kids from Mrs. Riley's fourth grade class over at Midstreams. That was a fun event, and I will go, to any other school if they invite me. I was invited, so I went. Windward Fun Day was great. It was for our Jumpstart program. It was a bunch of 3- and 4-year-olds having a lot of fun over at Windward. There was potato sack races. There was a little basketball hoop, your own pinwheel, and there was a picnic going on, and obviously our great playground there. So that was fun. The Jumpstart graduation, I couldn't make it to the graduation. It was Friday. I was out in Trenton for a legislative session, but I did go to the practice and I watched the entire, pretty much the entire graduation, and I'm sure the actual graduation itself was awesome because the practice was just fun. It was funny to watch. It was good. Again, it was the 4-year-olds getting out of the Jumpstart program. I went to the Chamber of Commerce scholarship dinner. The Chamber of Commerce does a great job raising a lot of money. It was over $20,000 worth of scholarships were given away, and congratulations to all the recipients, and thank you to all the different businesses that donated all that money to go out to the kids. The Relay for Life was May 29th, and that was the first time the mayor had a team. And I want to thank all of the staff here in Town Hall and all the businesses that participated and donated to the cause. My team we raised over $4,500, which is not bad for the first year of doing it. I think we came in, I think it was fourth place? Fourth place out of all the different teams that were there. And Debbie Murphy did an excellent job of really organizing it. Lynette did a dip sale. We had a big bake sale out here on the day of court. Everybody did a lot for it, and thank you very much. The Recreation Department held a preschool St. Jude Trichathon, and close to $2,000 was raised for St. Jude's, which was a great program. Again, it was over at Civic Plaza, and it was the 3- and 4-year-olds who were either on tricycles, bicycles, scooters. They all had helmets on. They were being taught safety by Officer Tara about always to wear your helmet. And it was for a good cause. The parents were out there watching their kids. They're going in between all the cones. And, fun day there as well. Our Township Community Garden had its kickoff. Michael Fowler, our Township planner, did a lot of hard work on this. And it's over at the Havens Farm, over at the Cultural Arts Center. So please check it out. We had the actual groundbreaking last Thursday night. I was not able to make it. I was supposed to be there, but I got held up somewhere else where I didn't want to be. Would have rather been at the community garden, but I couldn't make it. And I know Susan Liebecker and the whole Sustainable Brick Committee had a lot to do with it. And thank you to Mike Fowler and everybody, and the Garden Club of Brick, of course. And tomorrow, 11:30, is groundbreaking for our Colorado Park, which is the first park to be done in a very long time. Since I was on council, elected in 2011, became a council member 2012. Back then, all the money was being pumped into Traders Cove. We did improve the Windward Park playground itself. Last year, as everybody knows, it was opened. And this is the first park groundbreaking, 11:30 tomorrow at Colorado Park. And later on this summer, groundbreaking for both Lake Riviera and Angela Hibbard. Angela Hibbard first, sorry about the order there. And then this Friday, June 12th, from 9:30 to 1, the Senior Vendor Fair, which is at the VFW. different vendors for seniors. I don't know how to describe it better than that. And so please come by, check it out, and see if there's something out there for you. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Counselor?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
I could add that I did raise $260 in my dip sales.
Great
for
job.
Relay for Life team. I'm not quitting my day job, but I did sell a lot of dip. Thank you. That's all.
Council Secretary?
Nothing, thank you.
You're almost going to make it 9 o'clock. Mom wants you home. Councilman?
Good. I'll move quickly. Yes, a couple things. Thank you, Mr. President. To our high school winners, thank you for keeping us in the spotlight. Well done. To our graduating class out there, 2015, congratulations, and celebrate wisely. You all have cell phones, so if you have to use them, use them. Again, I just want to touch on our grills. They're still not, when you're grilling, they're too close to the house. Please, it's very serious that when you grill, try to keep your grills away from the house. Also, I'm going to go back in a little bit of time, which I guess I've been floating so long that I didn't realize it. Remember going up the street with your bicycle, going for air, right? You went up the street and you asked the guy at the gas station, can you pump up my tire for me, please? And he said, sure, Jimmy, no problem. He pumped a little air into your tires. Now, my son goes, now it's $1. You got to get air at a gas station, it costs you $1. So, those out there that I'm not going to name gas stations, but think about our society out here. And it's not charged for $1 for air. So I'll start from this level. If I got to keep going up and up and up, it's air, people. So our stations, you should be ashamed of yourselves. So if a little kid comes up to you and asks to put air in his bicycle tire, do it. It's not a big deal. Don't charge the kid $1, especially if he doesn't have $1 in his pocket. So, because the machines take quarters, not dollars. So that being said, that ruffled my feathers a little bit out there. So we all got kids, and I was a kid, and I had Mr. Smith put air in my tires at one time, and I thanked him, and he said, tell your mom and dad I said hi, and off I went. So, just a little note. And what else we got? In the past, I've been at our beaches, and the beaches look very great. The lifeguard has been training, so I think they're ready to go. And they're, of course, they're under a close eye with Mr. Brown. He's a great, he's out there drill charging them and just doing a great job out there. And just to finish up, last, I think this is pretty serious. I just wanted to go out to our Board of Ed system. Let's get it together. Remember, it's all about the kids. Let's keep them safe. So with that being said, let's continue being safe out there, drive carefully, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you. I just a couple quick things. I too would like to congratulate Christopher and Christy on their accomplishments, and really wish them the best of luck as they Christopher as he heads off to the Nationals, and Christy as she signed a letter of intent for a D1 school. She's got a great future in the golf world ahead of her. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at Civic Plaza, there's a free concert. It's Fred Lahote and the Ragtimers. If you call the reservation line, which is 732-262-1006, they'll be happy to reserve a couple seats for you. And again, that is free, 7 o'clock tomorrow night at the Civic Plaza. I wanted to talk about I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Call, the legislation that you referred to is known as the Uniform Common Interest Ownership Act. I've done some research on this, particularly with regard to, Mr. Cancel, your situation at Maple Leaf. I was able to get my hands on a copy of the bylaws, and it's no secret, certainly not to any of you that live there, that your association is in violation in numerous clauses in the bylaw. So I was kind of curious as to what remedies there are for people that live in these common interest ownership communities. Evidently, this legislation came about as a result of a task force that was put together in 1997 to look at these issues. At the time, the issues surrounding the common interest communities had more to do with the transfer of the real property from the developer to the association. There were complaints at that time. I don't think our legislators ever envisioned the scenarios that are playing out in some of these communities now. But this legislation was recommended. It was introduced in every legislative session from 1998 to 2010. Sometimes it made it to the full assembly for a vote, but it never ever made it out of the Senate committee. So I have a friend who lives in the State House. I'm actually having dinner with him tomorrow night. Or doesn't live in the State House, sorry, works in the State House. I'm having dinner with him tomorrow night. And basically what he told me is that every time any of this legislation comes up, they get deluged with letters from the associations, from the management companies, and from the attorneys that represent the associations and the management companies. So there are forces working against you on behalf of the associations and the management companies. What it appears now is that this pieces of this act are being broken up and introduced as separate legislation. Last Monday, not this past Monday, but a week ago, there was a bill that made it into the Assembly, made it to a hearing in the Assembly Committee that addresses associations that remedies for homeowners where the associations can't get a quorum, or it basically for recall elections to be called, where the homeowners have the right to call recall elections. I don't have that bill number off the top of my head. Mr. Cancel, if you want to give me your email address at the end of this meeting, I will email you that bill number. You can sign up for a legislative alert, so when these things come up, you have an opportunity. You'll get an email like 3-4 days in advance. You can go out to Trenton and testify for some of these things. There's a couple other bills. Like I said, they broke up the pieces of the Uniform Common Interest Ownership Act and are now introducing it as separate pieces of legislation. So when these things come up in the State House, it's important to be able to go and make your voices heard to our legislators. The chief and I met yesterday. We're getting ready our BMAC grant should be starting July 1. There's an after-school program that's currently running 1 day a week in Maple Leaf. We'll be starting a second one in conjunction with the PAL in the fall. We are reaching out to some members of the community, some agencies in the community, to see if we can rustle up some resources to maybe get in there a third day of the week and just start chipping away at it from every angle that we can. So I just wanted you to know, Mr. Cancel, we have been, you're not far from my mind, and we've been working on this from a multiple of different approaches. And we'll update you as things transpire, and we'll look at this that you gave us tonight in public safety. And that's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman?
Yes, I just want to thank Councilwoman Zapsik for bringing up BMAC, because that's what I'm going to talk about this evening. As you know, you've heard over the last year and a half about all the great work she's done to help bring BMAC back to what it was and even better, in all the different programs we have, like this after-school program just being the tip of the iceberg. She also set up a BMAC table at the farmers market. I know a lot of you have been there. I've seen a lot of your faces there. And it's a BMAC table that's set up right at the beginning as soon as you walk in. And it was a great opportunity for me to volunteer at that table, because you get to say hello to everybody that's there, and you get to grab their attention and stop them. And a lot of people didn't know what the BMAC program was. So it's a good opportunity to tell them what it is, and their next question is, what can I do to help and make this better? And there's 3 things that you can do. You can bring your children to the events. I know I attend with my son to some of the events, and they're outstanding, and he gets a lot of knowledge, and it helps me as a parent learn how to talk to my child about the dangers a 9-year-old would face in our community with drugs and picking the right friends and things like that. You can donate your time, and you can donate money and come to our fundraisers. There's a great one being set up this September, a golf tournament. And I'm really looking forward to that. It's being held on a Saturday, so all of us working people can actually go to one of these events. But call us, find out more about this program, because sitting up here talking about it all the time, you think everyone in the town knows about it. It's in the newspapers, we talk about it here, it's in the community, but there's a lot of people that don't. So if you use the programs, talk to other parents about it. Let them know that there's these resources out here to help them teach their kids about these issues and to bring their kids to these functions to meet other kids and learn how to make the right decisions in life when they're out there. You can't protect them every minute of the day, which is hard to realize when you're a parent. So, but thank you for letting me volunteer. I really appreciate the opportunity, and that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Councilman?
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to congratulate Chris Cantanello for his excellent culinary skills as a baking champ, and congratulations to Christy for accomplishments and being the first female golfer in the township to win an Ocean County girls varsity tournament. It was very exciting. And I understand that she is a captain of the boys golf team, too. I believe that's what she is. And bringing the BTMUA contest to the schools will bring awareness to the problem we are facing, polluting of our waterways, and these waterways lead to the bay. Teaching young people in our community is the right start. That's why that contest was brought in from the BTMUA, to bring awareness to everything. We bring awareness to a lot of schools through DARE programs, through the recycling program. We had a contest. This is just to bring, for the young people, to bring awareness. I'd like to thank all the students and the teachers and who participated in the contest. And I'd like to thank the Watershed Committee for coming out here. And congratulations to our mascot contest winner, Molly O'Brien, for her drawing of the Henry Heron. And congratulations to Carolyn Schaefer for her winning slogan, "Make us a resolution to stomp out pollution." That was a great saying, and it was the way to go. I'm glad to see the awarding of the bid of the 3 dump trucks with the plows and everything. I believe this will serve the purpose within the township. It'd be more cost-effective in the long run. We have to have 3 less contractors once these trucks come in to plow the snow, so we'll be saving money that way also. I'd like to thank the Brittonwood Fire Company and the Pioneer Hose Company for all the service they do to the community, and congratulations for the certificates. And Route 70, 3rd Lane, I think it's great. It was a great thing. I could travel right down there. It lines right up. You get right off, right to Route 88 or Princeton Avenue. That lane is fantastic, even though it did cost a couple bucks, but I thought it was worth it. Moves more traffic over there. The township has been awarded a grant from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs to create a neighborhood plan for post-Sandy recovery plan. Open house meetings will be scheduled to provide residents with important information, assist the township and its consultants to formulate a hazard mitigation plan, flood mitigation plan, and 4 neighborhood plans. All these combined will help townships' ratings in the community rating system, thereby lowering insurance costs. Please attend so that you can offer your comments and take part in the recovery process. The first of these meetings will be held June 11th, 2015, 7 to 9 p.m. at Midstreams Elementary School, 500 Midstreams Road. This will be for the Princeton and Midstreams neighborhoods to come there. There's others, Tuesday, June 16th at 2015, 7 p.m. at the Drum Point Elementary School. That's for Cherry Quay, Bay Harbor, and Shore Acres neighbors. And another one on Saturday, July 18th at 10 a.m. At the meeting of the Federation Brick Beach Association to be held at the Dover Brick Beach First Aid Squad building in Normandy Beach. That'll be at 10 in the morning. And for further information is needed, please contact the Brick Planning Department. 2 weeks ago, Brick Township, along with Save Our Communities in 2013, hosted an informational seminar to make Sandy affected residents aware that they can contest their claims. I participated in the seminar and I agreed with Mayor Ducey that FEMA did not do such a good job doing things in the open. Ron Jampel ran the meeting and offered much insight to the horrendous degree Storm Sandy victims were cheated, and urged all of them not to give up. A task force including the FEMA director, Senator Mendez, and Congressman Cory Booker decided 140,880 claims would be reopened because people did not receive what they deserve. There's a phone number here you can call if you want to get involved. It's and reopen your claim. It's 866-337-4262, or you can go to the website, which is FEMA.gov/hurricane-sandy-NFIP-claims. You will be asked a set of qualifying questions related to the policy. Bricktown engineer advised if a copy of your damage reports are needed, her department has them, and before contacting FEMA, you should request them before opening your claim. Another thing I attended was the DARE graduation at Midstream School project crash at the Brick High School, where they did a reenactment of an accident, and they had the students from the drama club acting out when they had a car accident, the police, the fire, the EMT, the first aid squads. It was all very intense, and it seemed very real what they were doing, and Councilwoman Zapsik was there also on that. It was a great acting job by all. And I also attended the Jump Start at the Civic Plaza with preschool school for the graduation. It was a fabulous program. Please join us for a groundbreaking at the Colorado Park. That'll be 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. This is near and dear to my heart. I've been waiting 28 years for this park to be done, and I'm so glad this is finally being done after all these years. Thanks to all who came out to the meeting tonight, and watching from home, be well. Thank you.
Are you sure?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I just wanted to congratulate again the kids, Chris and Christy, for doing a stellar job on behalf of our community, getting recognition for things they are good at and positive things that they are good at. Anytime that any of our children and young adults are doing something positive, I think it's important as a community that we take note and recognize them. And these are two of the kids who have achieved well and above what a parent could hope for, so I congratulate them. I also want to take a minute to congratulate all of our firemen who got the exemption. It's $500. It's such a minimal amount for the tremendous work and sacrifice that these individuals do. In taking a look at the roster of names, which unfortunately, because of the length of it, I couldn't possibly read to you without breaking Jennifer's curfew. But
Sorry,
there are a lot of members that date back to 1970, 76 that have been serving since that time. So I really want to extend a congratulations and thank you for your service to us. Yesterday, I was able to finalize the adoption of my youngest child, my last foster child. So I officially have another daughter, Luciana Lola. And the reason that I bring this to your attention is because I am closing my home as a foster parent. I've been a foster parent for 8 years in our community, and it's time for someone else to take up the reins. I'm hoping that people step up in our community. People always stop and ask me all the time, where do these kids come from? They come from right here. These are not people who could come to our meetings and stand up at the microphone. These are children who need homes and need someone to take care of them, even for a short period of time. Consider opening up your home as a vacation home to take care of children while foster parents are on vacation, or short-term placement or long-term placement, whatever you're comfortable with. If you want more information, please contact me. I'll be happy to put you in contact with the right individuals. But it is an important work to do and very important for our community. You're directly impacting on our youngest citizens and the ones who are most vulnerable, the ones who have been abused or neglected. So consider doing that. I hope everyone heard tonight the word free when it came to the mulch. I know when we were reading that, I said, this is fabulous. You can go and get all the mulch you want. I don't know what I'm going to mulch, but I'm going to mulch everything. I'm just mulching. I want the mulch. And it's free. So take advantage. Take out a car or borrow somebody else's car, throw a bunch of garbage bags and get some mulch, and take advantage of one of the things and one of the free services that we offer to our citizens, which is getting some mulch and doing some little landscaping. And it's free. The senior fair just to explain to people what it is. I think it's really important for the seniors to come out to the senior fair. It's all about education on home care services, education about nutrition, education about chronic illnesses, all the services that we as Brick offer our seniors. It is all about giving information. There's so many vendors there that take part in it that it is well worthwhile to appear and just peruse the aisles and see if there's any piece of information that could benefit you, or neighbor, a relative, a friend. It's worth it. Spend a half hour there, and if you see something that you need, most likely you're going to. I found stuff to pick up for my mother, for my father, for everybody. And I came with a bag, and I filled it up before I left, and I recycled it, Susan. I recycled that. I did. Sustainable Brick. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and I look forward to seeing you at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And those are very adorable kids, too.
I know.
Congratulations.
But yeah, congratulations.
I am blessed.
Yes, blessed. I'd just like to say, I go to our farmer's market every single Saturday. I love it. And I want to see more residents. I know there's a ton of residents that do come out. Those of you who don't, you don't know what you're missing. All of the summer vegetables are really starting to come in now. And if you like vegetables, they even now have the ravioli and the fresh
Pierogi.
mozzarella, the pierogies.
Wine.
I mean, the wine they have now, it's crazy what they have there now. And it's a really, really great thing for our community. So if you haven't gone yet, I do encourage you to. Also, it's graduation season. We had our Jumpstart graduations, we have our 5th grade graduations, we have our 5th grade DARE graduations, we have 8th grade graduations, and our high school graduations. And I'd like to congratulate all of our young residents on your completion of your academics, and good luck in your future endeavors. And I'm surprised no one mentioned this. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and especially the councilman up here. And a very happy Father's Day to my daddy, who I will leave alone and let him watch the U.S. Open in peace. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Well, I have only 45 pages of notes, so everybody hunker down. No, congratulations to Christopher, Chrissy. Great job. The BTMUA Watershed Contest, I saw that unveiled at the Island Heights Barnegat Bay Festival. Great poster. They did a great job. Want to thank Mrs. Riley's 4th grade class, because the mayor was there on Monday. I was there on Tuesday speaking with the kids. I had a great time with that. Relay for Life was great. It's a real feel-good event. Congratulations to all the graduates, all the schools. The community garden that is over at Homestead, Haven Homestead, the wood there was donated by Home Depot. So thanks to Home Depot for donating that wood. I apologize to Jennifer's mom for running the meeting so late, but the council was a little chatty tonight, you know. Thank everyone for coming out. The next meeting is June 23rd at 7 p.m. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.